I like the internet.
Well, we're on it now.
Well, let's make sure.
Well, we'll take Debbie Downer Chuck over here.
Damn, Chuck. Why are you such a downer?
Yeah, jeez, man.
Ba-dum-bum.
God, you fuck.
You're such a
Whoa.
downer.
Oh, hey, are we live? Are we on
What?
the internet?
Live.
Hey, internet.
Hello, internet. It is nice to meet you.
You're looking well today.
Ooh, live stream.
Trump. Oh no, I brought politics into it.
Oh no!
Oh,
God
shit.
damn
Oh,
it!
boo!
Oh,
You
jeez.
ruined it.
Oh no.
Looking for the tweet. Is there a tweet?
There's a tweet.
There's a tweet.
Tweet.
Wait, the tweet already happened?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Chuck
There's
is
a fucking
on
tweet.
it.
Oh, it's just Twitter being dumbass again. Dumbass Twitter.
Retweet.
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 I'm just gonna, instead of retweeting the live stream link, I'm just gonna keep retweeting our review.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Bow.
Xfinity Wi-Fi is available nearby.
Do not connect.
I'm gonna
Don't do it, Chuck.
I'm doing it.
I finally found how to get that off my phone.
Yeah?
It was great.
Good.
Well, I think it has to be, you have to have it in range, and then you can just click it and say, forget this fucking network.
No, like I had it set up because I had the hotspots thing,
Oh.
and then it kept trying to log in as me, and it's like, no, you delete my account.
Yeah, delete your account.
I deleted it. I literally deleted my account. No, go ahead.
Comcast was doing a thing for a while where if you had Comcast, you could sign into any Xfinity
Yes,
Wi-Fi hotspot for free.
that's what I was
Correct.
using.
But at some point on my phone, because I was signing in with my dad's, it said you've gone over your 1 hour a month or whatever limit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it wanted me to sign up for yet more.
Xfinity Mobile.
Yeah, something like that. It's weird.
Man, I did not know they put limits on that. Of course, I paid extra just to get a no limit thing.
Maybe that's it. Maybe your no cap account gave you no cap
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
extra fucking $50 just for that. But it would have cost me way more in the long run if I hadn't done that.
Right,
Because every month I was like at like gig and a half at least.
a terabyte and a half.
Or yeah, whatever, what, a terabyte now. Yeah. Because we
Get
just, I mean, that's how they screwed everyone who switched to just streaming services.
Right. Fucking scumbags.
Yeah, they suck. I wish they'd just die, but
Me too.
they continue to hang on.
Ooh, now
So-
live on your channel, Bad Movie Fiends live stream.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just shitting all over Comcast, but somebody told me that Comcast is getting into the fiber game.
Yeah, well, good fucking luck.
Are they?
I mean-
I know they when I quit, the guy's like, I'm like, yeah, AT&T gave me faster speed and better. He's like, well, I don't know about faster. We've got gigabit, I'm like, what's the up speed?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a gigabit down. I'm like, yeah, all right.
What's the up speed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speed.
And I'm like, also, what's the price, by the way? Because
Oh, well, it's only $300 a month.
You bumped me up to $175 a month just for internet. Just internet. That wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway,
Yeah. Fuck
I'm on
'em.
AT&T now, and I never thought I'd say it, but I like AT&T. It's
I-
pretty fucking
I
good.
like
have their,
AT&T.
like,
the installer was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, installer was a fucking badass.
I mean, I like AT&T. I just really wish like they had the same anti-monopoly bullshit that Comcast got roped into. Of like, you have to put your modem in bridge mode. Like, I want it to be just a fucking modem. I don't want your router.
Yeah.
Comcast got in trouble for that, and let people bring their own modems, but you literally can't buy a fiber modem right now.
Nope. Yeah. And I
Well,
finally
it's weird. Like,
figured out how to get mine on Wi-Fi, shut the Wi-Fi off.
Yeah.
Because their app's pretty robust. I was kind of surprised at how good it is.
Yeah, you just gotta save that stupid passcode that's on the side of the modem because you're gonna need it all the time.
Yeah.
Every time you go
Oh,
into
God.
an advanced setting.
Yeah.
I threw it in my dash lane immediately.
yeah. It's weird because the gateway doesn't doesn't seem like it's anything special. Like
It's not.
all the stuff should be done on the ONT box, but the gateway is all sorts of, I don't know. You have to have it, whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently-
Somebody was saying if you have a static IP, they will let you put it in bridge mode, which I'm kind of curious about calling and seeing how much just to get a static IP is.
You may try to call them. Have you tried calling them and saying, "Hey, look,
No,
this
I'm going off of like half my office has AT&T, and they're like,
gotcha."
Have you
only person
experienced-
that has it on bridge mode is someone that has static IPs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Have you experienced any like just dropouts and gaps at all in the service?
What do you mean? Like,
Like if you're streaming something where it just suddenly just drops for 20 seconds and then comes back.
that's probably okay. So what I ended up doing,
And I never know if it's YouTube TV or if
Yeah.
it's
Oh, are you
I-
watching? Is it on YouTube?
are
YouTube TV.
Is it over wireless through your?
No,
your-
wired.
Okay, well, then that rules that out.
I've
yeah,
had
wireless. I had issues until I shut off their Wi-Fi.
Well, I was thinking because it might be having like the double NAT, dual DHCP thing happening. Because I
Yeah.
ended up like just, I fought it tooth and nail, but like I'm actually using their router as the DHCP server now, and I just put my wireless stuff in access point mode.
Yeah.
So it's like literally just serving up the Wi-Fi. And that's it.
I've noticed that at some points in the day, like YouTube just gets real fucky.
yeah.
Yeah, I have seen. I mean that.
That's the only
some
problem
of that might
I've
be
had.
that bullshit. Like we're not throttling YouTube, except we totally are. Thing.
Yeah, but it's really weird. Like it gets bad. Like it gets 240p bad
Yeah.
for maybe 30 minutes, and then then no problems for a week, and then it'll do it 2 days in a row. It's strange.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then, like when I do a speed test, I'll do a speed test while I'm watching, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least I knew I wired my house properly. Because, yeah, as soon as I went on anything wired, it's like 900. It's like, all right, I'll take this.
It's so weird. Like, I mean, if I test it through the modem, I'm sure it's lying, but it's like, 980 or 1,000 down and 980 up, and never, ever, ever have gotten that in an actual, like, not
Yeah, an
modem-based
actual setting.
speed test.
Steam got
Like
pretty quick.
Well, like the first day I did it, like, fired it up, it was like full gigabit, but it's like the download has slowly, steadily dropped off to like being more like 700 now.
Does the fiber function like whatever like hubs do, where you're splitting your signal, or is
It's not
it?
supposed to.
Yeah,
supposed to
where you're
be-
supposed to kind of have your own dedicated
Yeah.
path.
I mean, I'm sure there's still some like local congestion if somebody else in your node is doing a lot, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I've noticed, like with fast.com, I get like
How fast is always way
Yeah.
slower because it's
Yeah.
also in Atlanta. I think is the closest
Yeah.
hub.
but I figure it's giving me a more realistic version
absolutely.
of what I'm getting.
I mean, that's why it exists. I mean,
yeah.
or Netflix was like, "Hey, we will prove to you whether or not Netflix is being throttled with your ISP. Like, go to speedtest.net and run it against this." And
Yeah. But like speed test is also doing like multi-threading or whatever it's called, and using the literal best available from your provider. So
I mean, you can futz around with the settings on speed test a little bit. Like, as the default max connections is 8, and you can bump it up to 30. I believe is the max.
gotcha. Also, Google's like fast is rough, but Google's speed test, there's no like regular link to it. If you just Google speed test, it comes up with a button you click. That one's harsh. That one's probably the harshest. But
I figure that's probably also what you're getting to YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
close to it. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I can download things quickly. And
That's-
upload things
that's the
pretty
best
quickly,
part.
too.
Yeah.
And do a 1080p stream with no problems now.
Hooray!
But hell, we could do a 4K stream with no problems. Just don't have
I
the
don't
cameras
think
for it.
the world's ready for us
No.
in 4K.
No.
I'm not ready for
our
myself
equipment
in
is not
4K.
ready for us in 4K.
No, that's true.
I need to like
You would have to bump up the RAM on that
This be
little
fine.
computer. Well,
It'd be fine.
yeah, but 4K cameras would not be fine.
Well, we don't
Getting 5 4K
we
cameras.
only need one. Cause,
No. I want this one in my face at 4K.
Because I mean, this is already like split 4 ways anyway. So if we just upgraded 1080p cameras, it would be enough for 4K.
Wait, so what are these? 720?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to do microdermabrasion on my face so I don't look 1,000 years old.
Well, we've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do it.
Should we talk about this movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
we should.
We can
All right.
try.
Wrap up that Blaxploitation History Month. Longer one this year. 29 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, girl. What you got there?
Ashley Graham from the swimsuit edition
Yep.
2016.
All right. All right. Welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
Hey.
BMFcast.
Yeah. Episode 498.
Damn, we're getting close
Wow.
to a big number.
Penultimate.
Yep. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BAMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, or sometimes just bad movies. And then we come in here and talk about them for the first half. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks! It's a really good movie.
Yes.
I'm a Robot Jocks enthusiast.
Hey, but slow your roll. Probably not going to worry about that because bad movies, they get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash in which they belong.
Gross.
Yeah.
Big,
Yeah.
like, 50-gallon contractor trash bag. Get
Full
one
of
ready.
Juicy stuff. You're not sure what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sloshing around.
So we are wrapping up the annual Blaxploitation History Month. One of these days we're going to look it up. Like
It's
one
the
of
8th.
The several-
Okay, 8th. We'll go with 8th.
Just look up whenever we watch Slaughter, and then you'll know.
Okay.
8 years ago.
All right.
Yep.
So yeah, we are doing that with 1975's Force 4 or
Force
Black
4.
Force.
Black
It has
Force.
2 different names.
Force 4.
I like both of those names.
Yeah, they're both better names than this movie deserves.
Aw.
Do you want a plot summary that you
Yeah.
should make me read?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a reason we make you do it.
Right.
It's because we like it.
When a priceless African statue is stolen and its courier is murdered, the Force 4 are called in to deal out some old school, old-fashioned retributive justice. Action.
Nailed it.
I don't know. I still can't read.
Yeah, you
All
made it
these
through
words
that.
are better
You made
than
it.
You've gotten by all right without
my words
that.
are better than their words.
Sure.
I
Oh,
like
all right.
retribution and justice better than retributive action.
Yeah.
Yeah. We watched this sucker on Amazon.com.
We did.
Yes.
It is streaming
It's a
on
website.
Prime, but let us warn you. Listen to us first, because first off, there's nothing to spoil. For this movie has no plot, minus what I just read, and anything beyond that, you might want to hear our thoughts on it before you dive into this one on Amazon. So yeah, this is a restoration by Cinema Epoch, meaning I think they found a scratchy ass old copy of it, slapped it in the telecin, and
They stitched together the reels.
and threw it on a streaming service.
Yeah.
because it is a rough thing. There are film grains everywhere. There's film smudges that are persistent for about 5 minutes in the
Yeah.
movie. It's
Yeah,
just
there's like blood waterfalls in the
Yeah.
middle of that movie.
it's rough. So yeah.
It's a bad print.
This is one of the roughest prints we've watched.
Yep, in quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't really matter.
It doesn't matter
A
because
good print wouldn't help this.
No, because
Might make it worse, actually.
we see the courier just minding his business, walking down the street, and all of a sudden he just kind of sees a tough and is like, I guess I should start running, and then the toughs are run after him, and then we see them sort of briefly scuffle, but somehow I guess they murder the guy because his head is bloody. I guess they pounded his head against the sidewalk or something is implied, but his head is bloody, he's dead, they take his case, and oh no.
And then the Force 4 get a phone call.
Yeah, well, forced one.
Force one.
One force we're in.
Yeah.
One Force gets a phone call, and he's like, all right, stand by. And then he opens his automatic door, which takes him into a dojo. Mm-hmm. And that's the other 3 forces.
Well, he gets an envelope first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets an envelope
Pictures of the
delivered.
thing.
This is your mission. No,
Inside-
this is an envelope.
Yeah. Yeah. Pictures
Okay.
of a thing, and you're like, the fuck is that?
Yeah, apparently it's a fetish statue, and somebody on the other line, whoever it is, who sounds a lot like Ice-T, by the way, the guy on the other side of the line,
Yes.
is like
That man on the phone was a black belt.
it was.
The credits want you to know.
Pretty much everyone in this movie was almost, except for like some party goers and various other people.
Yeah.
Lots of people that didn't need to be black belts.
There were many belted individuals.
Yes, plenty of belts. But yeah, it's just, hey, retrieve this, and are you sure you can pay my fee? Well, here's half, and there's a key attached to the note. We'll tell you what to do with that later. Don't worry about that; it will never come up again.
Nope.
And I'm sorry, I'm whispering, and I was told that doesn't translate.
Yeah, that's not
Don't
good.
worry about that; it will not come up again.
Nope.
But yes, he does. He opens this automatic door, and the other three of the Force 4 are there, and their powers combine to give us a karate exhibition one by one.
Yes.
And this is when
They
the
do-
soundtrack is introduced.
Yeah, it was because I think before. Yeah, it was before their exhibition that we got our credits.
Yeah, we got
sequence.
the credits when he
Which-
walked through the door.
There are a couple things worth noting in the credits, and that is they have no concept of how long to hold on each name. Like each name is on the screen way too long.
Okay, this movie is 79 minutes, which for us is good. However, they do everything. This is like Fred Olin Ray, Jim Wynorski style. Stretch everything as long
This
as
is
possible.
egregious.
It's worse
Yeah.
than that.
Like
Yeah,
this is Manos Hands of Fate. Let's watch them
Yeah.
drive for half the movie.
because like these
Egregious.
credits will just have like two giant names, and they will stay on the screen for 25, 30 seconds. It's like I didn't need that much time to read those two names.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
But
To
yeah.
give you an idea, there's a supercut of all the fight scenes at the end of the movie.
Which is pretty much all of the stuff that's not
Filler.
filler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
it's like one of those Pornhub compilations where it's just like, all right, here's what you want. Skip all that story stuff.
well,
And that
That's what the end of this movie is. It's like, here's all the scenes that you probably would have fast forwarded to get to anyway.
But super slow credits mixed with a warning at the end of this is all actual martial arts.
It's a disclaimer.
It's a disclaimer, I suppose. Yeah, it's a
There's no fake martial arts.
no
going
fake
on in
martial
this.
arts, no
This
trick
is no
photography.
bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no trick photography or anything like that. However, slow motion cameras will be utilized to fully capture some of the action.
Yes.
So that's your final disclaimer card at the end of the credits.
Yes.
Cut to the Force 4 doing their kung fu exhibition, karate expo. I don't know what kind of martial arts they're into, but they do their martial arts exposition expo.
They do my favorite type of martial arts, which is making noises
Yeah.
martial arts.
They kind of get progressively louder because
Yeah.
we start with I'm going to call him Slim because he's real tall and does not look like he should be doing karate.
I believe his name was Eric.
Sure, their names,
Eric.
their real life names are way better than their names in the
Yeah,
movie.
Malachi Lee
Is
plays
Eric.
Yeah.
Owen Watson
Watson.
was Jason, the guy who took the phone call.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Warhawk Tanzania
Warhawk, Tanzania.
Right.
plays Adam.
I tried to Google.
delightful name.
I can't find that guy's actual name because
You're looking at it.
I'm going to tell you what his actual name is.
Warhawk Tanzania.
Fucking Warhawk Tanzania.
Okay, I mean, it would be awesome if a baby was born and they were like, I will name this child Warhawk Tanzania. I don't think that
I
happened.
hate to tell you, I'm never having children.
Okay.
Otherwise, Warhawk Tanzania
Sure.
Mackie.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go with that.
My wife has no say in this.
Okay. Well,
She can give that baby whatever name she wants. She'd be like, all right, your name's Sabrina, whatever. I'm like, no,
well-
her name is Warhawk Tanzania.
well, allow me to present Sabrina Tanzania to you. That sounds pretty cool.
yeah.
It does, but it does not involve Warhawk, so it's wrong.
Warhawk,
Sabrina-
Sabrina.
Yes.
There it is.
There's one more Force of the 4 that
Trans
you
Sabrina
didn't mention.
Orchestra.
That's Judy Soriano or Soriano plays Billy.
Billy.
Fucking boring name. Get out of here.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Juice.
But we have
Yeah, that's no Adam.
there's Jason, Adam, Eric, and Billy from these people who otherwise
All have awesome names.
all pretty have
Yeah, they
better
should have just
names.
played themselves.
They should have.
Like the actors' names should be the characters' names, and
Sure.
vice versa.
Right. But it starts with Slim, who is Eric, and he's tall and slow. So it's like, wait. Was he the first one, or was the lady the first one? In the expo, it doesn't really matter, but because I think he's the guy that does the sigh thing. Because I think maybe the lady goes first.
Eric does the sigh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Eric
like-
They
does
say,
the
hey,
sighs.
show us them sweet sighs.
Yeah. And it's so slow and boring. If you've ever seen like people do cool shit with size, this is not it.
Well, okay, so the way they're filming all four of these demonstrations is that a lot of times the person will turn their back to the camera and do cool shit. And it's like, why did you do that? Like, we can't see the cool shit you're doing. And then when they turn back around, the cameraman will quickly zoom in on their face while they continue to do cool shit. And you're like, I don't want to see his face. I want to see the cool shit.
Yes. Well, this guy especially, if he does cool shit, we don't get to see it. But this is where we started the like, oh wow, real martial arts with no trick photography, huh? And I think by the third person, I was like, maybe they should have used some trick photography, because I believe Warhawk is next, and he's where we really get into like a kind of noises as he's doing his stuff.
Yeah, but man, our main guy by the end, he is doing like Gremlin's voice.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, while he's like, he does like a just a normal like little showcase of martial arts, and then they're like, they give him like a washizaki or whatever the little mini sword is, you know, and it's like he's trying to do this thing where it's like, you know, slice super close to the candles and put the flames out, and he's got a fancy candelabra that's got 7 candles, and he actually does like the 6 lower ones pretty well. Like, doesn't actually chop the wick off that you can tell. It looks like it's just the force of the sword going through the air.
Force 4.
Yeah. But then he like pauses on the centerpiece candle for a long time. Thinks about it. Like, he's got it kind of like in, you know, samurai style backwards mode, and then just fucking whiffs and slices the candle off at the tip. Like,
And then acts like
it's like
I did
muzzle
it.
tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, he kind
Congrats,
of
it's a boy.
like he kind of muffed that one up.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. It was
He did better than I would.
Sure, but you're also not a
He also took longer than I would.
something degree black belt, because everyone is also like not just a black belt. They're like 8th level black belt, whatever, you know. All the credits.
Yeah, the highest we go is 8th level, which
but that
is
was
one
a
of
guy.
the henchmen.
Yeah, that was
Some henchman.
Juan.
Frank Ruiz.
Yeah.
Juan.
Yeah. But anyway, so
Local
like,
auto
then-
body repair shop
then
owner.
it's
Frank
then it's over,
Ruiz.
and it's like, you know, and they go back through the automatic door back into his house part of his house, not the dojo part of his house, and just kind of like, wow, that was great. And it's like, don't you guys like have a job to do? And
Well, the dude's like, all right, now let
they're
me tell you
like,
about
well,
the job.
so like, what's the story? Like, well, this thing was taken. Okay, what other information you have? That's pretty much it. Well, I guess we should hit the streets, and then begins my version of hell, I believe, which is.
This is a goddamn nightmare.
It is. It truly is. It is. It begins. I no disrespect to the French people who invented the word, but it begins a montage, because I'm going to have to call it that because there's nothing else to call it. But it's like someone was like, "What if we did a visual montage and an audio montage at the same time, and they don't match?"
And never the two shall meet.
So it is just layers upon layers of talking to we don't know who. Just, hey man, where's the thing? What are you talking about? You know, the thing that went down. Where's the thing? I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm gonna hurt you, man. It's like, what?
Come on, man, you owe me.
And then just like while you're watching random city things, like
Yep.
I mean, they're just going around Brooklyn or Queens or wherever the fuck they are, and it's just like,
People playing dice.
yeah, it's like, well, it's not even just involving them. It's just like, hey, look, here's a fire station. Hey, look, here's a dog in a window. Hey, look, here's a laundromat. And
Here's a traffic light you're
and
going to
here's-
see 90
oh,
times.
here's, like,
Honestly-
they actually show you someone throwing a sandwich into a garbage truck, and then
Right.
the garbage truck crushing it. It's like, cool.
Sweet. Production value.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the point where we realized that
We've made a huge mistake.
no footage went unused
Nope.
in this movie. Like, whatever they shot
Had
made
to
it
go in
into
there
this
somewhere.
film.
Yeah. And it's proof that they didn't shoot enough because of how much footage gets repeated.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, they go through this montage, and then they sort of get a lead. Maybe, I guess. I think that's what it's
I
implied.
don't know.
I have
But then,
no idea
like,
how
just
they-
Honestly-
just when you think you're out of it, like there is a scene where they actually mic'd it properly, or you know, as well as this movie does, where they're like, okay, yeah, I think I got this information. Let's go over here and deal with this. And interspersed in this montage, they will just happen upon a group that's like, nah, karate, not talk. And they'll just walk up and like get karate and then dispatch these people in like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just like, well, back to the crazy montage. And, but there is a demarcation point where it's like, oh, okay, they finally got the information you know they needed. We're done with this horrific montage, and then it goes back into it and uses all the same footage over again
And the same music.
and the same music.
Yeah.
Mixed too loud over people ADRing their lines
Yes.
from another room.
But ADR is not even accurate because they're not even. Like,
No, they're not even trying
there
to
is-
match.
In this whole sequence, there is one thing where the ADR matches the lip read, and that is like, I don't remember which one of them, but one of them comes up on two working ladies on the street.
Warhawk.
Yeah, and it's just
Warhawk
like,
actually has a character trait in this, and it is he likes ladies.
uh-huh.
That is his character
That's
trait.
about all the personality any of
Yeah.
them
And
get.
that is the most information we get about any of these
Warhawk
people.
wants the ladies to touch his warcock.
Well,
It's a good
Wow.
slogan. Hey, ladies, have you heard my slogan? Let me tell it to you.
Yeah.
okay.
But so
maybe
like,
I won't name my daughter Warhawk.
well, just say I mean, you might want to think about it.
Yeah.
But there is a point where there's two ladies, and he's kind of not interested in talking to one of them. It's like I guess one of them is like he knows is going to have the information and is also going to give him sex because the other one perfectly matched to her lips says, "Hey, I got to go. I had something come up," and it's like it's been in the middle of like just insanity, utter and complete chaos and insanity. It's like, oh shit, that actually matched. And what she had to go take care of was, again, this has been no less than 20 minutes of crazy montage, random fighting, a little bit of plot exposition. Somebody plays basketball, like I think Warhawk again
Warhawk plays basketball.
Yeah, because he's basically like wearing a Prince outfit to play basketball in the street.
Yeah.
and like
He's got platform
he's
heels
got platform
on.
heels on and like a low cut like shirt. And I was like, yeah, let's play shirts versus blouses. Then we'll have pancakes. But so like all of this craziness happens, and then I guess they get some information, which is
Well, at some point in the middle of this,
Yeah.
the main bad guy, Z,
Uh-huh.
has shown up.
right.
And for a guy with an awesome name like Z, he's not.
Yeah, he's
As you called him, he's baby Andy Reid.
he's like 70s Andy Reid basically.
Yeah.
for sports ball people.
Yep. Yeah, but he breaks open the case and sees the little witch doctor statue, as they keep calling it. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "This is gonna be worth a lot of money, boys. We need to get this moved."
Yeah. And that's when the working girl from the street who had something to do walks in and is just like, "Hey, there's some guys looking for you and stuff." And he's like, "Oh, then I guess we should get this out of here," because they get the address to this place. Because
Well, no. So one guy comes. They all go back to the Force 4 HQ and pile onto the couch with each other.
Right.
And then the one dude comes in and is like, "All right, check this shit out. I got an address. I drew a map. I cased the joint." And I'm like, "When the fuck did the actual plot happen? We didn't see any of this."
It was after he hung out with his son
Yeah.
and then beat up a bunch of dudes.
Right? Yeah, he did. Take
I guess
his
he got
boy.
the information out of the very last one.
Okay.
or maybe his son. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. He did bring a boy into the scene
Yeah.
and challenge him to a fight.
Yes.
Kick me, boy.
Yes. Owen Watson
Watson's
brought his
son.
to
Yeah.
watch him.
And then his son missed, and he immediately broke his son's ankle.
Right.
Yeah.
This is why you don't miss.
That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yes, that's how it, because they're like, well, I got this address, let's go. And it's cut back to the warehouse that we saw Z come get the thing, and they just sort of appear through the door and start kicking people, and then are just like, well, let's search. I mean, again, at this point, like almost every fight is over in like 10 seconds, because like I said, a mob of like 5 dudes will attack somebody on the street, and then they're just like, ha ha ha, they're all down.
Yeah.
And then they come in this place and kind of do ha ha ha, and everyone's down, and they're like, well, let's search the place, and they half-heartedly flip things over for 2 seconds, and they're like, well, I guess it's not here.
They flip over a card table
Yeah.
that is very obviously has nothing underneath it, and they're like, well, not under there. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they destroyed these guys' flop house, which didn't have that much in it anyway.
No.
Shitty.
Yeah.
God, it sucked.
Yeah, I mean, because one guy gets thrown against the wall and it just buckles like it was just a set. I don't know. It didn't look like a set, but I mean, it buckled like it was just a fake wall.
Or poorly constructed.
Sure.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. But then they're like, well, it's not here. Oh, well, I guess we should go find Z. And then it's just...
Yeah, let's go to Z's house.
Yeah, they're just like, well, he's probably at his place, and I just happen to know where that is, so fucking driving montage.
Road trip.
Out to, upstate New York. Just...
It's just footage of the car.
It is.
Yep.
And them babbling in a studio somewhere. Utter nonsense. Like, whatever they're babbling, they're like, hey,
Yeah,
let's
they
park in the
definitely
woods and sneak attack.
Do not have a script.
No.
They are improving everything, but they don't know how to improv.
Yep.
Because they're not actors. They are martial artists.
They're karate men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just careful with the artist part.
So, the long
They're
car
marshals.
montage where they talk about let's park in the woods and fight. And then cut to the party. Z's party.
Oh,
Oh,
the
yeah.
party.
Holy shit.
All footage of this party was used.
Yep. I mean,
will
first
meet
It feels
every
like we
party
sat
guest.
through the entire party.
first it's just splashes of people at this party that look like. I mean, it literally looks like someone's bar mitzvah. That's just the level of people that are here.
All the Doobie Brothers are there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All the Doobie Brothers and the Weinsteins and
I do
everybody else.
appreciate that. Like, there's some people who look directly at the camera like, the fuck are they doing over there?
Yeah, it's like home movies when someone catches you filming. It's like, hey, no, cut that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They're like,
then
wait, are you filming something?
But then it's like, okay, we're gonna mill about and show you all these random people at the party, a lot
well,
of them multiple times, and then
one of which is getting a hand job.
yes,
That dude's totally getting a hand job.
yeah,
One dude is getting a hand job.
yes.
Don't argue it.
Yeah, you can't argue it.
Well, no, I'm not trying to
like
argue it.
That
It's
clip is on
obviously
Pornhub.
Yeah, it's not like they go full Pornhub on it. But,
No.
I mean, there is a woman smiling, reaching under the table, her arm vigorously going up and down, and the guy just kind of sitting there going, uh-huh.
It's the
Uh-huh.
70s.
He is getting a HJ for sure. But like,
Yeah.
were they just bored on set and like they're not gonna? Nobody's ever gonna see this anyway. Why don't you give me a handy under the table while we do this?
Maybe
Yeah.
she was a grip.
Okay, we can wrap it up here. Let's
Yeah.
rate it.
Wow.
Just
He was the best boy, and she's the grip.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, they mill about this party for a bit, and then like the camera is just like, well, I'm done. Stationary cam shot on this set of wicker chairs and a table,
Yes.
and it just sits there, and it's like, why?
I mean, I try not to exaggerate too much, but I would estimate at least 90 seconds
I would say longer.
of just sitting there on those chairs.
Yeah.
and it's and they're not centered. Like
No.
it's not even like, oh, this is a good Wes Anderson made
No,
shot. It's just like
absolutely
they're
not.
just slightly off to the side, and everyone's just kind of milling about the pool, like, yeah, we're doing a cocktail party thing,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, why are we why did we stop, and why are we looking at these chairs?
Why are
And
we
then
establishing the
eventually
fuck out of these
90
chairs?
seconds, 2 minutes later, Z, and now we are introduced to Felicia.
Right.
Hi, Felicia.
Yeah. Come and sit down in the wicker chairs, and Felicia apparently is the person that's going to buy this statue.
She wants to buy the African
She has
fleshlight.
a fetish for the fetish.
Yes. Yep.
And then it's just, well, why don't we go to the pool house? I mean, this is 3 minutes later after like banter. I don't know.
They babble back and
Sure.
forth,
It's-
and who the fuck cares?
I mean, there's a line that she says later where it's like, oh, was that supposed to be like sexually suggestive innuendo repartee? Because she's like, because one time later in the movie, he's just like, down to business, let's do this. She's like, oh, what happened to our repartee?
yeah.
I think that was later. I think that was
Well,
their next shitty
no,
meeting.
I'm saying it's
Yeah.
way later, but I
Sure.
mean, it's like this was supposed to be clever banter, I guess, in somebody's eyes.
It's
but
not. they
just go to his pool house,
go to
which
the pool house.
is all we see is like one corner of a room that has the world's tiniest bar in it, and it's like that's all you see, and you're like, I wonder if he's got it behind the bar. Walks behind the bar, and look, it's behind the bar.
Yep.
And then he's just like, well, this ended up being a lot more difficult than we thought, and we got some this force of 4 that's chasing us, and the price has gone up. And
The street's
it's,
hot.
yeah,
Got to have
it's
more
your typical
cash.
like, oh,
Fine.
the price just went up, and then she's like, yeah. Lady doth protest too little because she's just like, well, fine, it's another $100,000. I need till tomorrow or tonight to get it wrapped up.
Yeah,
Let's
he
be-
throws a number out, and she's like, "Ugh, fine, 10 a.m., I'll be there. It's like, you need to haggle a little bit because you're getting fucked.
Even he says, wow, you accepted that too
yeah,
quick.
He does, yeah.
He's like, huh.
But yeah, she's like, all right, well, 10 a.m. tomorrow. And then kind of from Oscar, oh, well, okay. So simultaneous to this, the Force 4 finally have finished their car ride and stopped some ways away and are walking through the woods.
Right.
Well, Z's henchmen are aware of this, that they're coming, and are just like, well, we can't have guns because I have important people at the party, so send as many men as you need out into the woods and dispatch them, which I guess is about 10. That's
10.
About 10 dudes.
It's
or
all
so.
the same dudes.
It
Every
is.
time there's a
Yeah.
multi-dude fight, it's the same
Yes.
dudes.
Yeah. But-
dudes on the street, dudes in the pool house.
We watch them like Scooby-Doo their way into the woods, and they're like, "Oh shit, they're coming!" And everyone like hides behind the woods or the trees, like, and then they walk like into frame like 2 seconds later, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Did they really not see him?" But thankfully, someone in the ADR room was like, we totally would have seen them, right? And and so I believe it's the Billy, the lady of the group, is just like, you guys did see that. And they're like, yeah, just keep cool and pretend like we didn't see them.
Yeah.
And which equates to let's walk 5 more feet, and all the guys go, ha! And jump out from behind the trees, and then it's another half-ass kung fu fight. This one at least lasts a little bit longer, and some people try some things. Like this one dude tries a flying kick and just totally whiffs and lands on his back, and that's probably my favorite thing in the movie.
And it's not part of the action montage at the end.
It's not. There's also this red shirt dude who's like keeps getting kicked towards this tree, and then has this like momentary like, oh, I don't want to hit the tree. So while he's supposed to be hurt, is like, oh, the actor is like,
where's the tree so I can land safely at it?
But it does it twice, and then they just like leave him kind of on the ground, going, oh, we're hurt.
One dude gets punched up into a tree.
Yes.
To where he kind of hangs on the branches with his arms, and then the dude who punched him looks at his fist like, holy shit, look what I did.
I just punched a guy into a tree.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just kind of like, oh, well, we have defeated you, onto the party, because this meeting in the pool house has happened, and then suddenly, without any notification to us, the audience, the Force 4 just burst from like behind the camera.
They enter the room from behind the camera at once, and it's like there's no way you all came through the door.
They do this several times. They just enter a scene from different doors that are not established. Like they did that in the warehouse too. They just like they came through 2 doors, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, okay. But they do this too. It's like 2 come in from this side and 2 come in from off the other side of the screen. And then they just sort of for half a second, and then Z's like, well, fuck this shit, grabs the case and runs out.
Right.
Because I think some more of their toughs were like, well, we weren't hurt too bad, and come back in. So
They do, yeah.
Z manages to escape, basically.
Yeah. And it just really kind of cuts to outside where the lady is facing another lady.
Oh, we forgot a major factor of this party before the interruption of the.
Oh, right.
of the
We
crying.
totally skipped the 10-minute musical scene.
Yeah, they're like, here's the band that's at the party, and Chuck was like, oh man, this is gonna be good, because they're all kind of wearing matching outfits. It's a singer, 2 backup singer ladies, and then a band that's all kind of wearing the same color.
This was
suits.
the best multicultural band put together in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, every race was represented here.
Right. A white guy, 2 black girls, an Asian dude, and some other folks.
Various
Yeah,
white
it's all the
people.
races on the earth.
Yeah, that's all of them.
That's pretty
yeah.
much all of them.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
However, it's a giant disappointment,
Oh yeah.
and it goes on forever.
Sure
It's
does.
the whole song.
They show
I mean,
the whole
yep.
song.
It's an okay song. It's fine.
It's a super generic disco-y song because
it's Chuck fine.
It's an okay song to play interspersed with other footage.
Sure.
Right.
But that's not what they
But
do.
The lyrics are lame. They're like, love is the key to my heart or something like that, and then it just
Totally.
rinse and repeat for 5 minutes. But yeah, we
and
see
fades
this,
out at the end.
Yeah, it does just kind of like it feels like they're about to start up another song. We're like, oh god damn it, movie! If you play a whole other fucking song, and
I totally-
it just hard cuts to like
Fully expected the second
Meanwhile,
song.
in the pool house,
Yeah.
like this shenanigans happen. So Zia's gotten away. So this was all pretty much for nothing, except he busts out, and all the party guests are like, whoa, and the Force 4 kind of like bust out, and like all the party guests now are like, oh dear God, whoa, what's going on?
Oh, heavens to Betsy.
And of course, that's when the henchmen show back up. So there's a little bit more kung fu action, which of course ends with one person getting punched into the pool and dying.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he disintegrates because...
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts bleeding out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not a special effect.
Not
Real.
Right.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
All
It was all
real.
real karate.
Yeah.
people
They
died.
Sunset Boulevard of that motherfucker.
It sure did. Yeah.
But yeah, then they're just kind of like, well, shit, I don't know. I guess Z got away. Well, we should go to. I don't know where they were because they go to another house.
They go to Z's other house.
Z's other house and just.
They verify
It's-
he's in there for
It's
fucking ever.
It's Jason, the lead dude, and Billy, the lady, who are just like sitting in the car. They keep like sort of hinting that there's this like romantic thing, but then they never do like anything with the lady. But
no time for that.
yeah, no time for that because there's so much time for other things in this movie.
Have to show
But-
all the other things.
This scene is just fucking excruciating.
This
Like,
is where the movie broke me.
this is where like they're sitting there and he's like,
took this long.
I was still on board, and at this point, I was just like, no, fuck you
this
guys.
this guy is like, well, there's his car. I'm gonna go put a beeper on it, not a tracker, a fucking beeper.
beeper. I'm going to put a beeper on it.
So and the lady for half a second is like, "Are you sure it's a good idea?" He's like, "Don't worry, I'll be invisible," and then proceeds to do the longest, stupidest, like like combat rolls and stuff in the yard. I mean, it's like
not even that cool.
Yeah,
He
I
goes
mean-
over and puts the beeper underneath the car. It immediately falls off. A dog who we've never been introduced to is barking somewhere, and this causes 2 henchmen to walk outside like, hey, what's all this then? He hides behind a tree, and 5 minutes later, that finally wraps up with the two dudes going back inside the house.
Just going, I guess it was nothing.
Yeah.
But most of it is him behind a tree. There's this one dude with the flashlight who's kind of looking around and just barely misses seeing the tracker thing because it fell, just behind the tire, so it's like just out of the line of sight. But then just stands there 3 feet from the tree, not quite going all the way around the tree, while the guy is like, am I going to have to karate him? And the guy's just standing there with a flashlight. And at no point did somebody go like, okay,
All right, turn around.
That's enough. Like
It's like when you're playing Metal Gear Solid and you can't trigger the guards to stop being on alert, even though you're hidden. It's like, well, this game is broken. I'm hidden, but the guards won't go back to their routine.
Right.
That's what it felt like was happening.
Yeah.
It just, that dude never turned around. And then finally he turns around and goes back in, and dude goes back to the car, and it's just like, let's call the guys and hang out here for a little while.
Well, before he had heard on the car phone,
Right.
which somehow they had a car phone.
Literally a phone.
But
They're Force 4.
sure. But he had them call the other two to meet them there for some strange reason, except that they're trying to be stealthy. So like, imagine like their Cadillac is parked right in front of this house, which is not like some house with a grand yard that's like, oh, they're not going to notice this way down here. It's a basic ass yard.
Flashlight dude is also staring right at that car.
Sure.
And never sees it.
Right. Well, because she ducks down and they're like, well, no one's in the car.
The car is still there.
Cars are just everywhere, Chuck.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Forgot.
But yeah, so he narrowly escapes and puts the tracker on the car, then goes back to the car, to which then the other car shows up with the other two, and then he's just like, well, I'm going to go stretch my legs. And then they just proceed to stand in front of the bad guy's house.
Yep.
And
Just hanging out.
ADR bullshit for like another 2 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand the goddamn word they were saying, but it's like, I can see the guy in the window, and windows are clear, which means he could see you.
And windows are clear. So therefore, Your Honor.
It was the dumbest thing, like all of this stealth bullshit to then like stand there and not do anything. Whatever. It finally, mercifully, thankfully goes away, and it's the next day, and then we get stock footage of the same trip up to the fucking upstate New York. Like for half a second they're following his car, and they're like, it's ADR, like, don't get too close. He's like, don't worry, the beeper's doing its thing. It's like, well, if it is, do you have to be 2 car lengths behind them? Like,
Yeah, because you're keeping the car in visual sight the whole time.
Yeah, what's the point of having a tracker?
What was the beeper for?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But eventually it just cuts to the same footage of them driving up to this place, which I guess maybe this was Felicia's house. I don't know where they went.
I believe it was Felicia's house.
Because that's where he goes anyway. That's where he ends up meeting her. And that's where it's just like, oh, where's the money? Oh, here it is. Okay. Where did all our witty repartee go? Anyway, no time for that. Oh, wait, shit. Force 4 is here. And they just bust in the room. And
I think between like when they left standing around outside and the next day when they start driving, they decided they're going to fuck over the person who hired them, I think.
maybe
They were like, wow, this is worth a lot of money. We could take both the money and the thing. Because they make at least 2 decisions to fuck over whoever called them. And this is the first one where they're just like, wow, let's take this thing and the money, and that'll be sweet. So they do. They take both cases.
Yeah, they get out to the yard, and then some more.
The 10 punks have readjusted themselves, and
They've respawned.
yeah, they're back.
Yep.
And it's more of that shit.
Yep. They fight again. This is where the slow motion camera finally comes into play, because everyone has to get like one like slow motion hit on a dude just to be like, look at their skills.
Well, the only one that's cool is the one where Warhawk literally kills a dude with his foot.
He like heel kicks the dude in the back of the head.
Yeah, that man.
That
dead.
dude took a full shot
Yeah.
and is dead now.
Yeah.
Dead.
If
R.I.P.
not dead, his brain dead.
Yeah.
40 beats per minute.
Yeah.
R.I.P. third degree black belt Richard Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4th degree dead. But yeah,
Sixth degree under.
They fight for a few minutes, and then Z runs out and for half a second tries to grab the case, to which they, Z is not a karate man at all, so he just gets kicked once, and it's like, oh, Z's dead. But turns out Felicia is.
Well, the credits say she is.
Well, Felicia comes out, and because they're like, well, I guess we need to have a fight between. It's even weirder than that. It hard cuts to the lady is fighting another lady that we have never seen before.
Right.
It's like it's from another movie, And then it's just like, oh, Felicia pops in and she's going to fight her too. It's like, oh, well, the lady needs to fight some ladies. She can't just kick all the dudes in the crotch. But yeah, they fight for half a second, but of course Felicia loses.
The only thing I like about any of this is that when Warhawk is not fighting anybody, he will stroll into the background of someone else's scene and just kind of stand there like, yeah, check this shit out. But he will wander into every scene that's not about him.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that for some reason. Warhawk just
Look,
like,
man, a man named Warhawk Tanzania takes direction from no one.
I understand.
If he wants to wander in and watch you karate someone, he will wander in and watch you.
I got no
karate
problem
someone.
with it.
But there is one final carload of dudes that shows up, and it's like, oh, this is the A team of bad guys, because they show up and like pose for a second,
Yeah.
and then
They do like rock, paper, scissors
Yeah.
to figure out who's going to go first.
water in, and then like there's this dramatic thing where it's like, oh, I've been waiting to face this guy, because the lead dude like even does this thing where like he takes his watch off and throws it to Warhawk, and into which he's like, you got it, all right.
And they stay there and
do his
pose
thing, yeah.
for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then he just walks off, and they have this like half-assed little fight. It's just
They beat all of these supposed top-tier bad guys in the same amount of time it takes to beat any
Yeah.
other person in this
and then
movie.
like they're like, okay, we won, and they take the cases over to the car again. Like they keep like forcefully slapping the case that has this rare artifact in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like first like when the henchman showed up outside the house, like Slim or whatever the fuck his name is, like just takes the case and like goes whoop, and like just yeets it across the yard. And then it's like, well, okay, like that might be not a bad idea, but then like even when it's not a pressure situation, they walk up to the car and they're like, slam, well, let's see about this fetish.
Right.
And then they're like, Slim is also apparently a doctor, because like when he's not karateing, he puts on glasses, and therefore it's like he becomes smart, because he's like, well, look, I know a lot about African art, and while this is a nice piece and everything, it's not worth anywhere near the amount of money or effort that they're putting into this.
Right.
There's got to be something going on. And then proceeds to tell like, well, you know, a lot of these things are hollow, so there might be something hidden in it. And they all start poking around like, where's the hole? And without even doing it, he's just kind of like, got you. Like, these things aren't hollow, fucking idiots. But it's like, okay. And then they're like, well, maybe it's in this giant case that is way bigger than this thing is.
That has to weigh a ton in comparison to this
Yeah,
little
because
ramshackle thing they threw together.
This is like a decent like carry-on size suitcase type thing.
It's like something you would carry a trombone in.
Sure, but they open it up, and you know this fetish is like in the very center, and they're like, they lift up the little flaps on the side. They're like, oh, there it is, drugs.
Yeah.
It's pure heroin.
Bags of heroin.
Yeah, the
Billy.
Billy. Yeah, she takes some out and licks it and goes, "Oh, this is pure heroin."
Yeah.
Like
She rubs that shit all over her gums.
She's
like,
fucking
I
excited
think it's
about
heroin.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't think, she knows. That
Oh,
girl
yeah.
knows what
Yeah.
heroin tastes like.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this is some horse.
But then they're like, we can't let this stuff get on the street. So we'll deliver this piece of shit artifact, we'll keep the money, and we'll destroy the drugs. Hooray!
hooray.
It's a win-win-win.
And then just hard cut into
The supercut.
supercut action montage. Like, that ended the movie of them just saying, fuck these drugs. And then just, bam, every time someone gets kicked or punched, here it is in a montage.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it ends with them showing the credits for a very long time.
Which
Oh, yeah.
also have a montage underneath them.
Yes, denoting every belt that each of the actors in the movie had. I think there were only like 5 people who did not have a belt of some
Z
kind.
did
There's
not
even
have
a
a belt.
white belt mentioned.
The
Yes.
preacher did not have a belt.
Yeah.
They
Z
they,
did not have a-
interrogated a
Z was the
preacher.
only like main cast member who did
Yeah.
not have a belt of some
like a
kind.
real speaking character who did not have a belt.
Yep.
The montage,
Even Felicia had a belt.
She did.
First degree black belt.
Yeah.
or the not the montage, but the supercut at the end reminded me how many crotch shots there are in this movie.
Oh yeah.
People get fist dicked a lot.
Yeah. But
There
it's
were at
no
least
Omega Cop.
There were at
No.
least 3 times where we were like, "Well, that was unnecessary."
Right.
That person was already down.
because somebody got like the classic like like chopped down into his
yes, right.
dick.
Yeah.
Like, you were down and unconscious, but man, fuck your dick.
Yeah, it's like you stopped him. You didn't have to stop him from having a family.
Hit him so hard his kids won't feel it.
Yeah.
Because you can't. have
Because
them
they won't
Yeah.
exist.
Yes.
That's a thinker.
I'm following it. Yeah.
It's good.
now.
Movie's
Anyway,
over.
Yeah,
75 minutes or 79 minutes felt like a goddamn eternity.
sure did.
It did.
I can go ahead with the rating.
Go ahead.
No Stargrove,
No,
right?
no, no,
I-
no, no.
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
Nope.
I couldn't understand the lyrics.
No, No,
There
this
was
is-
a song called Force of Four, but I
two
don't.
plus two. They said that,
Yeah, there's math.
Yeah.
but no one ever said it.
Okay.
Man, you don't get a fucking Stargrove from math.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's words to live by right there.
No time.
Yeah.
No time to divide.
It's not math.
You said you could go.
Yeah, I can go. This is a bad movie.
A bad movie isn't
And
Stay Away?
Like, okay,
Yes.
so it's not even fun bad. Like, part of me wants to call this like the Poughkeepsie Connection because it's kind of like that. It's like a bunch of fucking
Yeah.
dumbass karate people got together and like we can make a movie despite having no idea what we're doing. But Miami Connection, while not as good as a lot of other bad movies, they're still fun to be had. Like I
Yeah.
did not know
this is
you
where
had a father.
This is where Miami Connection could have gone completely wrong.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
this is what happens when Miami Connection goes completely wrong.
Yeah. But it's just bad and boring and extremely horribly made. And part of me wants to go like you're forced to give it 4 bags, but that's not good enough. This is a 5-bag movie. This movie fucking sucks. It's barely even a movie. I just wanted to make the force 4 bags joke, but that's not enough. This is a bad movie. Did I say 5? That was only 4.
Bad.
Bad. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. It's just it sucks. It sucks on toast.
So it's a 5-bagger for you.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
The fucking hiding behind the tree scene is like I was hating it. And I was already like, well, this is a force 4 bag movie, but that scene was like, no, fuck you. And then like the hard cuts at the end where it was just like, we don't know how to transition a scene, and then the fucking full song, and yeah, hard cutting to a super cut of all the shit you just watched, and then the credits at the end re-showing you shit yet again. Like 70 credits are supposed to be like, here's the 8 people that were in this, bam, we're out. We did this in the opening credits.
Right.
But this one's like, does the same slow ass like, here's everyone that was in it and what degree black belt they were.
Well, the opening credits didn't want to spoil who the black belts were. Otherwise, you'd be expecting it.
Sure.
Be like, oh, I'm going to see awesome fights. I don't want to know that. Spoiler.
It's not a
no, the
spoiler,
opening
that's
credits
false
did tell us.
expectations.
But the opening credits did tell us what degree black belts they were.
They did, yeah. Yeah.
It
Only
actually
some of them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
all
Not
of our
everyone.
main characters,
Right.
it had them listed as like instead of degree, it was Dan in the,
Right.
in the opening credits.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, there's too many Dans.
You're right.
Too many damn Dans.
at least they're they had a nice spread of Dans. They didn't just have like all first Dans. They had a first Dan and a fifth Dan, and
Yeah, that's Steely Dans and
Steely
Wool
Dans.
Dans. And Steel Wool Dans.
Dapper Dan,
Yeah. But I'm done. Yeah.
Big Dan.
You're Dan. I'll go. I'm. This might be the cold medicine talking. I don't know. 2 bags, I think, is the worst I can go here. For about 30 minutes, I was like, this sucks, but it's kind of fun. I could maybe give this a jocks. And then when it started wasting my time, I was like, nope, this is getting a bag. And then that fucking let's all hang out in front of this dude's house and ADR in some bullshit that we can't even hear scene. I was just like, you know what? No one knows how to make a movie in this. Nobody knows how to make a movie. And I will not sanction that. I will not stand for buffoonery. So,
Do not stand for all these Dans.
yeah, 2 bags. I obviously don't watch this. It's on Amazon Prime. Do not watch it.
The worst thing that a bad movie can be is boring. And boy, is this one boring. Like, you would think it's got 100 karate men in it.
It's got a guy
How
named
can it be?
fucking Warhawk.
Yeah, Warhawk,
Tanzania.
Tanzania. And Owen Watson.
Watson
Wow.
and his son.
Yeah. This movie lost me at the overlapping ADR montage. I checked out completely. I just couldn't give a single
I fell
shit.
asleep.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and the montage was still happening.
Yep. It's awful. There are a couple things that I like the dude getting kicked in the head. But that's an accident that they kept in the film because they shot nothing else. Everything that they shot, like we said, was in this film.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything that is a redeeming. You must see at least this part of it. Like you got to see this scene, or you got to see this guy getting kicked in the head. I mean, you could just watch a karate tournament and see a guy get kicked in the head for real, and that would be a lot more entertaining than this movie could ever hope to be. So, 5 bags. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right.
Don't be boring. If you're going to be something, don't be boring.
I agree. But I'm forced to give this a 4 bag rating.
Finally, someone did it.
Yeah. There's glimmers of good, which is why I can't go all the way to 5. Like glimmers of fun that could be had here.
Mm-hmm.
It just never coalesces into something that actually works. And I mean, come on, you've got a guy named Malachi and you got a guy named Goddamn Warhawk, and you name them Adam and Eric.
Yeah.
Come on. Like that should tell you all you need to know right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Well-
like if you want to see amateurs who know karate kind of getting together and making a movie, watch Miami Connection. 100 times out of 100.
Well, don't worry, guys.
Over
The
this.
guy who directed this made one more movie.
Chuck has reviewed it.
Yeah, you reviewed Velvet Smooth.
No, he's thinking of the other Warhawk movie.
Oh, okay, the Warhawk movie.
I have not seen Velvet Smooth.
I'm saying this is the same
Oh,
director,
okay.
and it also has Owen Watson in it. It has a couple carryover people, but
If you want to prepare yourself for the 9th annual Blaxploitation History Month, Velvet Smooth might be on the list.
all right.
Yeah.
Again, where the fuck do these people with their great names? There's a guy named in Velvet Smooth. There's an actor named Emerson Boozer.
And what is his character's name?
Matt.
Oh, fuck off.
Yep.
Not even like a single T. Also,
They're just trolling us now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to time travel and be like,
well-
no.
at least someone named Johnny Hill plays Velvet Smooth.
Okay.
So they took a shitty name and made it cool.
All right.
But Owen Watson plays King Lathrop.
Whoa.
Or
King
Lathrop.
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 Okay.
Lathrop.
I'm into it.
Sure.
Is his wife Miss Anthro?
I get it.
Huh.
Ha.
Let's take a break.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Peel that off my ears.
I got 2 movies.
I have also 2 movies.
I have Juan movie.
I guess I
and
got one.
Juan TV.
But you signal dose TV.
Juan movie and Juan TV. That makes 2 things to talk about in the second half.
2 plus 2 makes 4. Force.
Horse.
4 Hawk 10s in the.
All right, well, if we're not getting up, let's just do this shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
If I could do this shit.
Yeah. Fucking
Fucking do
enjoy
it.
it.
Do it.
Dad, shut up.
Do it.
Shut up.
All right. Sorry.
What the fuck?
All right, welcome back.
Hey!
Hey.
Second half. Half number 2.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. We didn't really discuss the order of which we were going to talk
Does
about.
anybody
these
have a 2020 movie?
movies.
No.
Yes.
No.
But it's not the one I want to talk about first.
You know how we do this.
I know. That's usually what, I mean.
Go, Harlow. Talk about the movie you want to talk about first.
Well, okay. I mean, it's just one is like, yeah, I watched it because I've watched a lot of these and it's no big deal. But the other one is kind of a big deal. I saw Parasite, the Academy
Oh,
Award-winning
the best-
picture.
oh, it's the
Picture.
best picture of the year.
Yeah. I don't know.
I heard it's from South Korea,
I don't know about that.
but I don't want to get too
Hold
political
up. I'm about
it.
to quote unquote internet hate Parasite.
Oh,
So,
shit.
Oh, no.
Here we go. All right.
I think you should preface this with your letterbox rating
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
so that they know the context. of
Yeah.
internet
I
hating
quote
this.
unquote internet hate this because I gave it 4 stars out of 5 and not 5 like everyone else.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Do not watch.
Here's the thing. I can recognize that this is an expertly shot, expertly edited, and very well acted movie. However, like my issue with the movie is solely in its plot. Full disclosure, this is only the second Bong Joon-ho. Is that how you say his name? I'm probably just fucked it up. But it's only the second movie of his I saw. I only have seen Snowpiercer before this. I haven't watched Okja or Mother or The Host or any of these other ones that are probably good too. But like I liked Snowpiercer, but I still have problems with Snowpiercer, and a lot of my problems with Snowpiercer carry over into this. Snowpiercer is a movie that's kind of schizophrenic, where it's like it doesn't quite understand if it's like a comedy or a sort of a satirical look at this, dystopian future thing to like hardcore action / drama. It's just, and this one kind of has the same thing. Like it is played for the most part like this like satirical look at class structure, and then it just like takes this wild detour into like tense thriller and other weirdness. And I obviously don't want to get into plot things, but it's just, it keeps weaving in and out of these. Like if you were going to make like this kind of wild turn to like a different genre, I think that can be interesting. Subverting expectations is always been a great thing in movies. I mean, like it's a thing that we all know because we've all seen it and talked about it and dissected it for over 50 years now. But like Psycho is a great example. You have this big star, you put her in your movie, and then like not even midway through the movie, kill her. And everyone's like, oh shit, like that doesn't happen in movies.
Right.
Like your main build star does not fucking die in like the beginning of the movie, and then you're suddenly cast off to this other person. It's like, well, let's see how that gets resolved. And it's not a hard shift like that in this movie. It's just, it keeps like doing these kind of hard shifts and then like trying to drift back into what it was saying before. And I feel somewhat like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking you if you enjoyed every aspect of this movie. I'm saying for me, movies like this, I feel like get some sort of, I don't know if pass is the right word, but they are elevated simply by their subject matter. Which, I mean, this is about class struggle. It's about class inequality, about the haves and the have-nots. Basically, is the main central focus of this movie. The problem with that is I don't think it's saying anything interesting about that. It's like you can't just say, oh, it's about this, therefore that's important, ergo this is a good movie. That doesn't work for me. Like you have to like have a reason for existing. Like just like I don't like Brokeback Mountain. It's like Brokeback Mountain is a 2-hour movie of like, hey, this is a shitty situation that you're going to see here, and then it's just going to kind of end and say like, yeah, well that sucks, doesn't it? Like it's like, yeah, it does. Like, do you want to maybe
right.
do you want to maybe resolve it? Give us an ending, not just like, yeah, well, it sucks to be a gay cowboy. It's just like
It probably does.
yeah. I mean, it's like I just don't enjoy movies that are like issue. Yeah, it's an issue, and it's like, well, yeah, but plot. Like you need a plot to go along with the issue. Like, and the last thing I'll say about it, it's kind of knocking it, and this is also plot related. It's kind of what we were talking about that we had this long conversation last week that may have drew the ire of certain people, but it's a movie.
Oh, fucking idiots!
Yeah. Well,
okay.
yeah. But
yes,
it's a movie where like nobody's good. There isn't like really a likable character in the entire fucking movie. I mean, there's
stop getting political.
There's some people that are like kind of innocent bystanders, somewhat in the situation, like mostly like the younger kids on either side. But it's about this like underprivileged family and this super rich family, and I don't even want to like, as I knew, I went in knowing very little about this movie, and that's about all I knew. Is like, it was about class struggle and inequality and all this stuff, and then let's see what happens, because I was like, somehow I've remained spoiler free on this, and it turns out they're all kind of shitty. Like they're all shitty in their own different ways and for different reasons, but they're all shitty. And it's like, at the end of the day, I'm like, you gotta give me something to care about. Like, I mean, you can't make your protagonists astagonists and your antagonists also be astagonists. It's just a gaggle of astagonists.
This is what society has done to us.
So I just, I mean, like I said, I recognize that from a technical standpoint, this movie is brilliant. Like it's brilliantly shot and everything else. And it's super moody at times. Like it is such a weird, whiplash effect of when it shifts genre, basically. That it's just like, what? Yeah. I mean, there are things that I will remember about this movie. Like there are scenes that are like expertly done. But like when I stop and think about it, it's not a fucking 5-star movie because it's like, yeah, when I stop and think about the plot, it's like, yeah, it's not great, you know. So yeah, it's a strange one. Like
So you liked it.
I semi liked it.
I
I
understand.
liked it. I didn't love it. Far from loving it. So
Okay.
yeah. Like Snowpiercer was one of those things where it's like, it's because I think it was like my first experience with this director. I think I was maybe forgiving some of these flaws, but now like I feel like I'm aware of that. That I think if I went back and watched Snowpiercer, those things that semi annoyed me before would really annoy me now. Where it's just those like wild tonal shifts in it. Yeah, it's just it's a strange thing. I have a morbid curiosity now to go watch his other movies just to see if it's like it's a common thing. It's just maybe his style is not my
He
thing.
made one for Netflix.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not. There's no political agenda about this. It's like I don't care that a foreign film won the Best Picture. I really don't give a shit about the Academy Awards. Period. I really question this one. Like, it's a strange one to pick to be like this is the one that's going to lead the charge, and it's a global race now. You know, like for the best movies out there, where it's not just American anymore. So, and I agree. I mean, I really do. There's some fantastic foreign films. I just don't think this is among them. It's okay. It's pretty good in times.
One could say it's a 4-star movie.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll wait on the other one. It's not important. So
All right.
somebody else.
All right.
Well, I've got one teed up.
Hey.
Sorry, I was looking for my. I guess I don't really have it teed up. I was looking for my Letterboxd review, but to cheat off of myself, I had been really wanting to see Uncut Gems because I'd heard that it was very interesting, and my girlfriend last Friday night was like, "Hey, Uncut Gems is playing at Sunray, which is the local indie theater." I was like, "Cool, that's kick-ass. I want to see it. Let's go." So we got tickets and arrived to find out that it was being shown on 35 millimeter. I was like, "Man, that's even cooler. I get to actually see a film on film. Hooray!"
Uh-huh.
I was super excited. And then the movie started and yelled at me for 2 hours and 40 minutes. That is not to say that it is bad, but it is unrelenting.
I've heard it's very fatiguing.
Yes. There are very few moments of reprieve during it. Most of the time, there is music and no less than 3 people talking at the same time on screen.
So it's like a podcast.
Yeah, kind of. I absolutely hate being in that situation where there are, like, at a loud party where there are, 6 or 7 people talking loudly and you're trying to have a conversation with someone, and you just can't think at all because
The person doesn't have an inside voice. Like, we have someone like that in our office. Like, he gets on the phone and just yells, and it's like, modern technology can pick up your voice.
yeah, be quiet. Yeah. Or like you're in an office and 4 or 5 people are on the phone at once, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
where it's just, there will be moments where there are 2 or 3 conversations going on screen, and there's also music. It's just, it plays to really good effect, even though part of me absolutely hates it because it's so jarring, but it keeps you on edge for almost the entire movie. And it's good. I like it. I think it looks good. The music that they do use, even though it's like shockingly loud and jarring, is great. Adam Sandler's probably the best performance that I've seen out of him. He plays his character really, really, really well. He's kind of this, like, he's a gambling addict, basically. Gambling addict and sort of semi-shady diamond jewelry dealer. And Lakeith Stanfield is in it. I saw Lakeith Stanfield in the credits, and then he showed up, and I was like, who's that? And a couple minutes later, it's like, oh, that's Lakeith Stanfield. Like, he's a fucking chameleon, and he's in everything right now, and rightfully so, because he's great.
Well, he has plenty of time off from Atlanta.
You're so bitter about Atlanta. How much Atlanta do you have?
What?
That you've...
I like that you're so bitter and like you came to the party late.
I did.
Like we've been sitting for a really long time waiting for more Atlanta.
I was told there would be more Atlanta.
But yeah, it's a hard movie to watch, especially like the theater. They cranked the fucking sound up. It was like someone was shouting directly inside my brain. It was really hard to watch. So if you can't stand that sort of thing for the sake of the art, you're gonna hate it. Probably. Like, Pam didn't like it. She could recognize that it was good. Like, the plot is good, the dialogue is good, even though there's way too much of it at one time. It's a good movie. It's just, you really might not like it if you can't stand that the fast talking New Yorker times 3 or 4 or 6 at some points. But this would have easily made it into the top 5 had I watched this in 2019. And I'm glad I got to see it finally, especially in the theater where my eardrums could bleed from all the noise.
And you can't pause it.
And you
Give
can't,
yourself a break.
Right, yeah. And I think that's
Important.
really important,
Yeah.
because it keeps you in that mode of what's going on. Like there's a lot of plate spinning in this movie, and it keeps you tense the entire time. So like, I walked out of the theater and just took a huge breath, and it was Friday night in a busy part of town, so it was noisy outside, but it was nowhere near. Yeah. It was like pure silence compared to in the movie theater.
Yeah. You were like, I'm glad they got to cut those gems.
Right. Finally, they cut the gems.
The gems have been cut.
That's it. Go see it. You should see it. It's good.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe wait until you can pause it, though.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's probably what I'll do.
That sounds pretty good.
So Chuck,
Yeah.
what you been watching?
I got 2 things.
Cool.
Both are
2.
quick.
Okay.
I did my due diligence and watched all 4.5 hours of 1997's The Shining, since I talked about The Shining and Dr. Sleep last week. Stephen King got a chance to make his version.
Yeah.
All 4.5 hours of it. All 4.5 unnecessary hours of it. It does some interesting things, but it just doesn't need to be that long. Just no way. It is not served by being a 3-hour or a 3-night television event. There's just not enough story there for that. But whatever.
Is Steven Weber's descent into madness better sold than Jack Nicholson's?
Well, yeah, because you're given more time.
Yeah.
Because basically in The Shining, it's like, hi, I'm Jack Nicholson. I'm here to run your hotel. And then the next second, they just cut to him staring like a madman off into the distance. And it's like, oh, he's crazy. He's gone. This movie takes 3.5 hours to get to that.
Oh, okay.
And Jack Torrance is a normal dude up until that point. He's got some problems and some demons, but he's not a crazy person. And he feels bad for the things he's done. And then it even has a redemptive arc for him at the end. Because in the actual novel, they blow up the hotel at the end. And he tricks the ghosts into blowing up the hotel at the end. So he saves the day, basically, at the end.
Oh.
So there's that. There's no reason to watch. Just it exists. And if you're really desperate to see the version, if you read the book, watch that. But it feels every bit of a TV movie as it could possibly be. And like the main way that stands out is, so the Kubrick film used a hedge maze for its thing. That's not in the book. They were hedge animals. They were like hedges that were sculpted like animals, which come to life.
Yeah.
And Imagine 1997 CG on a television budget.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hell yeah.
These fucking lion bushes come to life, and it's just like, wow, we're in another dimension. Look at this. So, yeah, there's no reason to see that. Okay, this other movie I'm going to talk about. I normally do not talk about movies I absolutely hate. I usually just leave those off of the discussion. There's no reason to talk about it. It sucks, and I don't want to pile on. But I'm so fucking confused by this. It doesn't make sense to me. So I watched Spring Breakers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Spring break.
People like Spring Breakers. I've heard like, wow, that's pretty good, and James Franco is amazing in it. So, and that's all I knew about it. So I was like, okay, time to watch this. And man, did I fucking hate every goddamn second of that. I have no idea how anyone's... And I came to Letterboxd to like, this movie sucks. What do you think, Letterboxd? And everyone was like, 5 stars, best movie since Goodfellas. And I'm like, the fuck is happening? The fuck is happening? This... Usually I'm like, okay, I see what you liked about it. I get it. No idea. No fucking clue what anyone gets out of this movie. None whatsoever. It was insufferable to me. Like, I don't know how people in theaters didn't put bullets in brains.
Jesus. So you liked it?
No. Absolutely not. 1 star. Do not watch. It is terrible.
You gave it 1 star, though, so it must be pretty good.
No.
1 star, we're in.
Well, yeah, but we will not be in this. Holy God. Just, I don't get it. If someone could kindly explain to me what they think. Because I read some reviews, I'm like, I don't think you liked it either, but you gave it 5 stars. I don't know what you're doing here.
I think, well, I mean, am I the only other person at the table that's seen it? Okay, so I think my thing with it was watching the chameleon-like performance of James Franco is pretty much the entire strength of that movie. Otherwise, I don't think it has anything. Because I mean, I've heard people like say they just switched over to it and didn't realize it was James Franco. I mean, I think you'd have to be kind of out of it to not realize that. But
I mean, his name's on the box,
right? Sure. I'm just saying, like flipping over to HBO or something and Spring Breakers.
Okay,
on.
I guess.
But like, I for some reason, and I don't know why, throughout the years would just periodically check in on like Harmony Korine. And progressively hate what he was doing more and more and more.
Yep.
And this was just like, oh, well, at least it's like a normal movie. I mean, like, it's not normal because like these people are awful and you hope that they don't exist. But I mean, it's normal in terms of like, it's not just being weird to be weird.
Right.
You know, and I think that's why I was just like, oh, well, I can actually sit and watch this because people aren't just picking up roadkill and playing with it like no human fucking should, you know.
Yeah, it's not a David Lynch light thing where people are just behaving like otherworldly or anything like that. It's the worst of humanity on display for the entire runtime, and it's like, why would you watch this? Like the bulk of it, like the first half of the movie is just teenagers being terrible. And it's like, yeah, teenagers are terrible. They're loud and they're goofy and they make bad decisions. And that's literally all the movie is for the first 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's like, why am I watching this? So, I don't know. And then I don't know. I'd seen The Beach Bum before seeing this. Like, I saw The Beach Bum like a few months ago. And also came away from that like, what the fuck? Like, what? These aren't movies. Like, this is not a film. This is just turning the camera on and whatever happens, happens. And somehow you got a bunch of stars to be in it. So, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. But I'm curious as to why everyone is like, oh my God, Spring Breakers. It's so amazing.
Yeah, I think my problem is I watched it and The Bling Ring relatively close to each other. So
Yeah.
I honestly think sometimes I'm mixing things up.
Oh.
Like Bling Ring is a thing about awful people, but it's a well-made movie.
Okay.
So it's like it's one of those you have to kind of watch it that way, where you're like, all right. So for personal reference, like Bling Ring is basically like if your Girl Scout bandits made a play for something bigger. You remember your video that you put out there, like I'm so dumb and I have zero
They had money and I want money.
I don't understand like morality and stuff. Yeah. Like that's basically the Bling Ring, but it's like it's actually like kind of fascinating at the same time.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think I kind of put together events from one movie to the other because it's like, oh look, young people being terrible.
I wish I got it. I wish I saw what everyone saw in it, but there's no movie in that movie.
All right.
So I'm done.
Okay.
Did you say you had a movie? You have a movie, right?
I have a couple quick ones.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know how we ended up on it, but HBO has a documentary on Mel Brooks called Mel Brooks Unwrapped, which was edited together from like an interview that the guy did with him like 30 years ago, and then like 20 years ago, and then recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're expecting a lot more about Mel Brooks, you're really not going to get it. It almost feels like, okay, we had all this footage, we need to do something with it. So they just kind of threw it together. But you learn kind of that Mel Brooks is almost incapable of turning it off. You know, he always has to be Mel Brooks, the entertainer in the room guy.
Right.
Like whatever he's doing always has to be on doing something. And it's like you want him to let his guard down for just a few minutes. And it only really happens a couple times in the movie, like when he goes to Whole Foods and a lady recognizes him and is like, "Oh my God, you're Mel Brooks." He's like, "Yep, that's me." You know, and just he's like super nice to her.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, and
That's Mel Brooks.
and God, what was his? No, I'm blanking. What was his partner's name for so long?
Carl Reiner.
Yeah, Carl Reiner. Like he goes to Whole Foods because he's bringing spaghetti and meatballs to Carl Reiner's
Okay.
house, and he hangs out with Carl Reiner and the guy doing the documentary. And that's like the best part of the movie because you're like, holy shit, these guys.
Oh, I've actually seen that. I've
Yeah.
seen this thing, but I've seen that part.
Yeah.
I've seen that on something else.
Yeah, and it's like for 10 minutes, you're like, all right, this is what I want.
Well, yeah, because it's just friends hanging out, and
Yeah.
he's not trying to do a bit.
Yeah, exactly. But you just don't get enough of that for the entire time, which is kind of disappointing because it's like you leave it going, I guess that guy got to hang out with Mel Brooks. And
Good for him.
yeah, and it's just kind of left at that. You know, there's like no deeper anything. There's no like you do. It's like watching the making of for a movie, and you don't learn a damn thing about the movie at all. You're like, I watched half an hour of nothing. That's kind of how that felt, which was unfortunate. And then for no particular reason, I watched Kingsman: Secret Service again.
Okay.
I guess I was just like kind of in a James Bondy mood, but I didn't want to watch an actual James Bond movie because I just couldn't pick.
Sure.
And that was on my my iTunes account, so I'm like, oh yeah, Kingsman, all right.
Uh-huh.
That movie still peaks at the Freebird scene.
I was gonna say that. I was trying to remember if you watched the first one again or the second one.
First one again.
Yeah, because second
Golden-
one.
Because I want to get to the second one eventually.
Oh,
But,
you
okay.
haven't seen the second one. Okay.
yeah, it's sitting there waiting for me. But yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but the first
Put
one,
some
like,
distance.
Yeah.
I had forgotten so much of the first one, especially how like the climax of the movie resolves.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I
This.
forgot that part.
That happens.
Yeah, like, yeah, and that movie's just got this weird mean streak to it that it's kind of like,
It was like ahead of its time with its mean streak.
kind of.
It's like it fits kind of now. You're like, okay, I get it. But like back then, you're like, hey, dude, chill. What the
kind
fuck
of.
are you doing?
Yeah,
This is not who we are anymore. And it's like, oh wait, yeah, no, we should be that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that Freebird scene is still like the reason to watch that movie.
It's
by
an
far.
insane thing.
Yeah, but it comes in the middle of the movie, and it's like, all right, we got another hour left to go, and yeah. But it's definitely like it's just so weird to look at it and go, yeah, they really loved the Roger Moore movies, didn't they? And
Someone has to.
yeah, that's not you.
Someone beside you.
Yeah,
Yes. Whatever. Fuck y'all.
yeah, and
The Roger Moore movies were never as absurd as this.
no, they weren't, but they were.
They were goofy.
Yes, I think it's the goofiness that I gravitate towards with that. But anyway, yeah.
Oh,
I feel like we should have had more stuff with Colin Firth being a badass.
They delayed the shit out of that prequel Kingsman thing. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be out by now.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't even looked into what.
Oh, you know what?
What's
That's
happening?
a Fox movie, isn't it?
Probably.
That's Disney fucking with it then.
Probably.
Because that trailer came out like a year ago.
Did it?
Feels like it.
well, I didn't think I was going to have this segue, but you kind of softballed it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Mark Miller,
Yeah.
Whoa.
co-writer of Kingsman. I watched the new adaptation of Superman Red Son, the animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's based on a Mark Miller thing. So
Yeah, how
there's
is
my
it?
connection. I mean, I liked it. I think like almost all of the animated adaptations take a little bit of liberty with the story, and I'm okay with that because you got to cram a comic book into a 90-minute thing. This one actually, there's a few plot points that are kind of vastly different, but this is, of all of them, I feel like maybe the most direct adaptation. I mean, there's still, like I said, there's still some differences and things that aren't in the original one, but I mean, maybe it's just because I'm more familiar with this one. This one seemed like it hit most of the major story points of the original thing pretty well. I think it's funny because like Superman's voiced by Jason Isaacs, but it's just it's weird that they got Jason Isaacs and then they make him do a Russian accent the entire time. It's just like, why would you hire, like, why not just get a Russian dude? Like I don't know. Just
Maybe is his Russian accent good?
he's okay. He's a little better than this one.
Okay, well, all right, then I'll allow it.
But like the strange thing, so like I mean, I know that like the DC animated people like have a voice cast list of people that they work with all the time,
Right.
And I get like recycling people and changing people's like role and stuff, but the one that sort of like was messing with me the entire movie is Diedrich Bader, who's been he was Batman in Batman Brave and the Bold. He actually does a good Batman. Like,
Okay.
When he most of the time you think of like, hey Peter man, check out Channel 5,
Right.
but like
Yes.
but like he actually Brave and the Bold is like a goofy version of Batman. It's sort of like the Batman ripped from like when he teamed up with Scooby Doo style. So like you have to understand that when you're going into that series, but like he kind of lends that like, okay, I'm still a comedian, but I can do the gravitas thing, sort of like Will Arnett doing Lego Batman.
Okay.
It's sort of like you're a funny guy doing a dark voice, like, but I can do comedy too if I need to. But like they had him be Lex Luthor, and it's just like,
Wow.
I'm sorry, but I'm not buying Diedrich Bader as the smartest man on earth. I'm sorry. I've seen too many things that he was in that it's like I can't suspend disbelief and still hear his voice and go like, yeah, smartest guy there is.
Two chicks at the same time, Batman.
There it is.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's a fairly faithful recreation. So if you care for that story, you'll probably like it. If you haven't seen it and you don't feel like reading the words, go ahead and watch this because it's pretty good. I think it's one of my favorite Elseworld stories. Like it's such a simple. Marvel had their What If and DC had their Elseworlds. I mean, this is such a simple What If. It's like as the beginning of the book basically says, it's like baseball, apple pie, and Superman. It's like what's fucking more American. It's like, yeah, but what if like you landed in Soviet Russia instead and stood for all of their things? It's just like it's a very fascinating and easy what if story.
Yeah, that's one thing DC's Elseworlds always had over What If was what if
it was just like a
always
single
seemed to
comic?
end up with everyone dying.
Yeah.
Elseworlds always like took the concepts and fleshed out entire stories on them. Not just like, look what went wrong.
And what's so wonderful about Red Sun to me is it's like it touches on other DC heroes, like how they would be affected, or maybe not so much heroes in the case of like, probably the most fascinating one, but like how they get to Batman in the Red Sun universe is great. And it's like, and it's not played like a major focal point of the book. It's just like, it's a couple of frames and it's like, wow, that's fascinating to then in my mind imagine the entire upbringing story that led to Batman becoming how he is in this version of it.
Right.
Just like the Flashpoint thing. Like, I mean, Flashpoint then fleshed out the Batman story separately later, but like, that's a fascinating thing because like Flashpoint is like, okay, time is all screwed up and things are different because the Flash, prevented his mom from dying basically. But it's like in that version, like it's actually Bruce Wayne that gets shot in the alley and the parents live. And the dad becomes Batman, and the woman and Martha, we now know his mom's name, thanks movies, turns insane and basically becomes the Joker. But like in the original comic, it's just like it's like a couple panels. It's just like you get some time with Thomas Wayne being Batman who uses guns and doesn't give a shit. He's a totally different Batman. But like it's like a couple of pages of like, oh shit, they're setting up his mom to go crazy and become the Joker because like she does this thing where like she smears her lipstick and it's like it turns into the smile and it's like, oh okay, I get what you're doing here. But yeah.
Okay.
I just like I said, I think that's what's fascinating is like almost the things in the Elseworlds where it's like, oh, I recognize this character's name, what and who they are as a superhero. What are they going to be in this version of the universe? Because there's a whole like Green Lantern section like too, and Wonder Woman stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I am a little disappointed because it's like you could tell as time's gone on, like these things have just gotten cheaper. Like the animation is just not as good as it once was.
Yeah.
But it's not so bad that it's like you can't watch it. It's just it makes you long for like 10 years ago when they put more effort into these.
Yeah, which they did. I mean, they were cranking them out, but they were putting the work in.
That's the nice thing about these is like I recommend ones like this. Like there's like 30 freaking DC animated movies, and it's very hard to figure out even where to start because they keep even restarting the continuity within them because like they'll have like, oh, these are interconnected, but they're part of the DC extended universe, and now it's the DC animated universe, and we kind of did a soft reboot, and then there will be ones that it's like this is a direct continuation of the one before it. So it's like just trying to figure that out. That's why I'm like, if you want to see if you even like these at all, pick one of these like self-contained things up, like Gotham by Gaslight or this or something that's just like I can watch this one thing, decide if I like it, and watch more. So
Yeah.
So Kingsman comes out in September now. It was originally supposed to be February 14th.
Okay.
Well, originally September of last year, then
Okay.
February 14th, and now September next year.
So a whole year
Or-
it's been
so
pushed.
they're gonna release it like right next to the New Mutants, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
New Mutants is still on track for April until they move it again.
Sure.
I love that all those teenagers are like in their 30s now.
Yeah.
But
I
they
hope
filmed
they're-
that movie when they were teenagers.
I hope there were some reshoots where suddenly those characters are like 5 years older.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Who knows?
Wasn't Maisie Williams in that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, at least she's still like 4 foot tall. So
Yeah, she's
always going
Rain.
to do some.
Yeah, she didn't age.
Yep.
Speaking of,
Yeah, I have no segue. I have
Okay.
no good segue.
she was on a television show.
Yeah.
So speaking of television,
Oh my God. Chuck.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank
Great,
you.
Great
It's not
segue.
TV, Chuck. It's HBO.
oh,
God.
I don't know where this actually aired. I have
I
no
don't
idea.
know. I was talking. He was talking.
Yeah,
about
yeah, I
Game
know,
of
I know.
Thrones.
Where did Breaking Bad initially air?
AMC.
AMC.
Yeah.
Okay.
American
All right.
movie classics.
Right. Well, Breaking Bad is an American movie classic. No, I just started picking up Breaking Bad again. I watched like a season and a half, 2 seasons maybe, and then kind of dropped it for a while because that show is intense.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like Uncut Gems, but you can take breaks.
It's not like Uncut
I know.
Gems at all. But that show is intense. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's a cakewalk compared to Uncut Gems, but it's still like there's heavy shit happening every fucking episode. There's no episode I go into going, oh, okay, well, this one will be fine. Like, this one won't like make me depressed or worried for everything that's going to happen to everyone in this show. Also, Skylar sucks.
Yeah,
Welcome.
I think I said that last time, but
everyone says it because it's
yeah.
true. Let him do his crimes.
kinda, yeah.
That's right. Skylar sucked on Deadwood too. So.
Yep.
She has a history of sucking.
There's
Let him do his marshaling.
there's one thing.
His Olifanting.
Yeah. I guess I can talk about this kind of freely since it's been.
Well, we've all seen it. So
You've all seen it, and pretty much everybody else
Yeah,
but me
so
has
spoilers
seen
just in case.
it. Yeah. She wants to run the car wash.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That seems like a good idea. I don't know what happens. I'm not to the point where that has resolved
I
yet.
mean, she can run the car wash. She just can't dry the cars because she's a constant wet blanket.
Fair. But I think the car wash is a good idea. That's the only good thing Skylar has ever done.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll work out because it probably won't because it's Breaking Bad and nothing works out because no one can ever unfuck themselves.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
No, I'm not saying that it's going that. I think it's going to work out. Or
She runs a very good car wash.
Yes, they make lots of money,
At the car wash.
whoa.
and the car wash fixes his cancer.
What? Okay. Yeah, I'm just to the point where they have murdered Gale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the last thing that happened.
Poor sweet innocent Gale.
Poor sweet Gale. I liked Gale was the only person that was like in the entire show that is fine. Like it seems like he might be a nice person even though he's cooking meth.
Oh, I don't know. Marie's pretty nice. Kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
You're dumb.
Badger's nice.
Badger's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Badger's all right.
Skinny Pete also.
Yeah, Skinny Pete and Badger.
Yeah.
Skinny Pete's okay.
Skinny Pete had a heart of gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame about Combo, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Gale's the only one that's okay. I do not understand. What are they? Gus? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I do not understand his motivation for killing Victor yet, quite. But we shall.
Because he is Gus.
He's remarkably good.
Oh, yeah. That show is very well cast.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito.
no, that's the BMFcast's own Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Right.
He is
Because he was in Monkey
It
Bone.
was a monkey bone.
right.
He was.
He is a
That
delight.
poor man. So you're in like the early stages of season 4?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
season 4.
Yeah.
It's
I kind of feel season 4 is the peak of that show.
what is there? There 5 seasons?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's basically
But they're like half seasons
6.
that were
Yeah,
stripped.
season 5 is basically 2 parts, and there's a very clear line of distinction between.
Yeah. Once
The
The
two.
Sopranos started doing that shit of half seasons,
yeah.
all the shows started doing it.
So dumb.
But I mean, season 1 is a full season, and it's
Right.
8 episodes, and that's basically how season 5 is. It's 2 8-episode runs.
Yeah.
Season 2 is my peak. See, I'm just saying season 2 has my, 2 or 3 of my favorite episodes, so I'm
Yeah.
just giving it to that season overall.
the episodes feel very long, even though they're 47 minutes. I think it seems
Well, they're packed.
They're dense.
Every episode's
seems
packed
like-
full of stuff.
like I look at the clock when I'm done with an episode. I'm like, holy shit! How is it not 5 a.m.? I feel like I've been murdered and then brought back to life and then murdered twice more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. I can't stop watching it. I will probably watch an episode when I get home tonight.
Good man.
Yeah.
Public service announcement. Better Call Saul has started again, and season 4 is now on Netflix.
Oh, good.
So-
now I can watch season 4 again.
Get your asses caught up.
Yeah.
I watched like the first
need
3
some
episodes,
depression.
Yeah.
and like the unrelenting dread was like, I can't jump back in yet.
Yeah, it's just not the right time for
And
watching that show.
and being
Sorry.
on PlayStation View,
Oh,
they expired after 28 days.
Right.
So the whole season went away eventually.
Oh,
Jen got pissed at
I-
me because
I-
we didn't watch
I
it.
keep trying to go back to it. It's just that show is just fucking depressing.
well, let me tell you,
Yeah.
Hooray!
there is a moment in the premiere, the first episode of season 5, that just is absolutely devastating, just soul crushing.
Have they said how many seasons that's going?
One more.
So 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems wrong. I mean, I never think spin-offs should last longer than their original show.
Technically, it won't.
Yeah.
Not as many
'Cause
episodes.
Breaking Bad
maybe?
was, I think, 63 episodes, and
Yeah.
this will be 60.
Okay.
So,
They're rapidly approaching Breaking Bad era.
mm-hmm.
Rapidly.
Yeah.
So
Well, they were always kind of unclear about what the years were early on, aside from like shitty cell phones.
right,
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I meant to talk about. Cell phones,
breaking them.
man, snapping cell
Oh,
phones
snap a
all the
fucking
fucking
fast.
time.
Yeah.
So good.
Man,
Burners. All them burners.
remember when you just could have a flip phone
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you would send a text?
Maybe
That was kind of cool.
it would take
Yeah.
10 minutes to type it out.
Yeah,
Be like, hey,
5
please.
if you had T9.
But yeah, I wish we still lived in the era of I could just make a phone call and snap this fucker in half,
Yeah.
throw it out my car window.
Well, with the new Motorola Razr,
Yeah.
and the Galaxy Flip or whatever it's
Hey,
called,
you might just be using it. It happens.
right.
True, yeah.
So
It'll
real
just
quick,
cost you $1,000 to snap each phone.
speaking of gangsters and shitty cell phones, been watching McMillions.
Oh, okay, good. Yep.
Documentary on HBO about how the dudes ripped off the Monopoly game for McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fuck, is that show good?
Yep.
Like, somehow they have coaxed these amazing interviews out of these people. Because normally it's like, all right, somebody's talking, and you just. I think that it's just so full of characters that all they have to do is just give them a little poke, and these characters just let loose.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah. I mean, that story has always fascinated me, even though every time it came up, like in one of those long form articles in like the New Yorker or something, I remember reading it every time.
Every time.
Like whoever it was like, all right, read it again, because I always forget the details of
It's
the
so
case.
twisty. You're like, did that? Whoa, wait, and then this? What the
I mean,
hell?
Because, yeah, they tell you right off the bat, they're like, yeah, for 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
this thing ran, and literally every winner was bought and paid for.
Yeah, and related.
And it's like, I know I've said, like, okay, binge watching is kind of ruined moments in shows, but every time we get to the end of an episode, Jen and I are both like, fuck,
Yeah.
we got to wait till next Monday to get another one.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's been my go-to. Like, we have to watch this now.
yeah, it's that good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they end the episodes right at like crescendos. They're like, and then this happened, and you're like, oh no,
Oh, that's-
no, don't go to black, don't show the damn credit.
That's terrible. Why did that happen?
Yeah,
Well, while we're talking about TV, I have a question, and I will set it up with saying I've been watching Avenue 5. I'm going to wait for the whole season to be over before I have something to say about it. But it's making me realize, I'm curious, has anyone at this table, did they watch House, like, regularly?
Not
I
regularly.
used
No.
to, yeah.
I've
Did you?
seen.
Is it worth watching? Because I mean, watching this is like made me go like, God damn, Hugh Laurie is just fucking great. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I should watch House.
Watch maybe the first 3 seasons.
Okay.
Because after that, it gets repetitive and up its own ass.
Okay.
House probably would have been an amazing show if it could have been 12 episodes a season. But
Okay.
it was still in that era of 24
35,
episodes of television a year. And
Okay.
it's.
And it's pretty formulaic
Yeah.
until they start getting into... they run out of medical shit to do, and then they start doing...
It's just lupus every week.
No, they just start
It's not
doing
lupus.
all of the interpersonal things they can do. All that unnecessary like personal relationship conflict
Okay.
instead of just like more cool doctor shit.
All right. I feel like I should give it a shot because I mean, like watching this is just. I mean, Hugh Laurie showing up on Veep was like some of the best stuff, and so like I could see why they were like, yeah, same creator was like, let's just give him a whole show because it makes sense. But yeah, like I'm not sure how I feel about the show overall because like your tolerance for Josh Gad may make or break your enjoyment of this show. But
yeah.
yeah, but I mean him and Zach Woods, who is a guy who's been around for forever and has been awesome, but like it's only now that I'm like learning his name and like going, yeah, he's fucking great and creepy and wonderful all at the same time.
Oh, you mean the guy from The Office who showed up on Silicon Valley?
Yes.
That's how I referred to him
Right,
forever.
that's what I'm saying. Like this show is
Oh, he's the
finally,
weird guy from The Office. Now
finally
he's on
making
the show.
finally making me go, okay, this guy. Like
Okay.
I'm now going to remember his name because that's how good he is in the show.
All right.
I mean, he's kind of doing the same sort of shtick, but there's a level of like he's always just been like creepy and weird and doesn't realize it. This one, it's like, no, I get it. I'm weird and off-putting, but I'm embracing it.
Is that show an hour or a half hour?
I think it's just a half hour. It's pretty light.
Okay,
Yeah.
might have to pick it up.
Yeah.
Jen started watching Curb Your Enthusiasm from the beginning. That first season aired while Bill Clinton was still president.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fucked up.
I know.
Well, it's
And
weird.
it looks like it was shot. Like that first episode is painful because it looks like it's like somebody with a cheap home camera following them around doing this stuff.
Well, I actually started watching Seinfeld from the beginning, and I want
Holy
to talk about
shit.
early episodes being painful.
Oh yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that first season they had no idea what they were doing.
Actually, it only took about 4 episodes, and then it was like, oh, okay, it's Seinfeld now. But like, I mean, there's still a couple things, but like the pilot is just fucking atrocious. Like, there's no Elaine in it, and it's like they didn't even have an idea what to do. And the only thing I'll notice, I will note, is like the first season, Kramer is just an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
he is just this, and he's basically an antagonist. It's like once they made him part of the gang, and had to come up with external antagonists. It's like it made a lot more sense. But like, it was just like it doesn't make any sense because there's this one like they get a stock tip or whatever, and put Jerry puts up the good bit of money into the stock, and George does too. And every day Kramer comes over with the newspaper, and it's just like enjoying the fact that it keeps dropping in price, and it's just like. The only thing I like about it is that Jerry keeps calling. It's like, why are you enjoying this? Like, like I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Just similar kind of thing.
Yeah, it's also weird. In I think it was the 4th episode of Curb, Bob Odenkirk shows up looking like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
He is a delight.
I'm familiar with that era of Bob Odenkirk because
Yeah, I know, Mr. Show and all that, but
I always have to take every opportunity to pimp that show.
yeah,
Yeah. I also, the other thing I'll say about early Seinfeld is just like it's very clear that they were just like they introduced Jason Alexander to oh God, why am I brain? Larry David, and it was just like do him because it's like he's not even like trying to be a character. He's just doing a Larry David impression
Yep.
for the first like 6 episodes until he like starts to get his own character going. But yeah, it was just like it was so weird because like especially going back like now in a post Curb Your Enthusiasm post, I've seen him on Saturday Night Live, and Larry David is always Larry David. It's like watching these early episodes is like it's just weird. It's like watching someone do an impression.
Have you started a running tally of all the Larry David voice cameos that he makes?
No, there was the only obvious one is there's Jerry's flipping channels and flips to some sci-fi movie, and it's Larry David like in like a 50s like B movie set.
He's in it a bunch. When I did my rewatch, I was like, oh God, Larry David's all over this thing.
Yeah.
What season did he leave?
I want to say 7. I think it's the last 2 seasons that are Larry David light. It's like the same where they stopped doing the stand-up wraparounds.
Yeah.
And the plot's got a little, they did like the Frogger episode and stuff like that where
Frogger episode's great.
yeah, but it's that era of just like the fuck is happening to the show. It's weird.
Yeah, I seem to remember like that era, like they'd try to have 4 storylines for everyone at once, every episode. And it's like, you have 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you
It's not
don't
enough
need to jam everyone into, like, combine some stories here.
Yeah, that's just my new like. I almost always have like some long running show that is done that I'm just gonna like. I've seen probably most of Seinfeld, but it's just nice to go back and like. It was sort of like Friends and a couple others where it's like I've seen a lot of these, but I'm just gonna watch it from the beginning, and now I will say I've seen it all.
Yeah, Seinfeld and X-Files are both the ones where like I've seen everything up through like the second to last season.
Yes.
And then I start to just like, I think I missed this. It's like every other episode those last 2 seasons I've seen.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
it's just the one I'm like, when I don't have anything else to watch, it's like, all right, another episode. Eventually, I'll get through all 9 seasons. I think I'm in season 3 now. First season's like only like 6 episodes. It's crazy
Yeah,
short.
it's really short. It was in the summer. It was a summer series.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Those shows that never make it.
Yeah. And then they stopped doing it, and then NBC, what was their slogan for the summer was, well, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Yeah.
It was like,
Way to get
That's-
desperate there,
that's-
NBC.
Well, was that just rerun season? Like,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. New
They'd
to
be
you.
like, hey, it's Seinfeld. If you haven't seen it, it's new to you. I'd like,
We were getting crushed during the active season, so
We don't have that must-see TV thing anymore because
Yeah.
you've seen it.
so how about maybe watch?
Yeah, you got maybe see TV.
yeah.
yeah. So you haven't made it to the contest yet then?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I want to say that's like season 4, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the I'm out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was kind of like the first big one that everyone was like, oh my God, Seinfeld.
I believe that's actually during the season long we're writing a pilot thing.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I mean, to me, the first one where it was like, oh, okay, I remember this, and this feels like a Seinfeld plot was the apartment. I think it's actually just called The Apartment or something like that. It's like they find somebody's moving, and it's this like great apartment that's like super
the
dirt
rent
cheap.
control?
Yeah, the rent control
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and they flip or something for George versus Jerry, and then Elaine's like, well, I'll take your apartment, Jerry, if you go get that one.
Right.
And this whole thing. But then the one that was like, the very first one that I was like, okay, this is the one they show clips of all the time was the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, I
one.
was about to say.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Show was good.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of show was good,
Hey.
this show was good,
It was some
Sure.
time ago. Yeah.
and
I
now,
think so.
And now it's done.
We jumped the shark somewhere back in like when people still said jump the shark.
Oh, so
a long
like
time
episode
ago.
4?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
We say nuke the fridge now.
Right.
Nope.
You don't even say that anymore.
No,
that.
we don't.
Like a boss.
Right.
Shit on Deborah's desk. That's what we say.
Oh.
That show really shit on Deborah's desk.
No, we don't say that.
Oh, no?
No.
This show really wanted to speak to your manager. Back when it Karened.
Oh.
The show that Karen's.
So anyway.
Yeah.
If you caring about contacting us, email us at bmf@bmfcast.com. Go to the website, bmfcast.com. Patreon.com/bmfcast to help us pay for all that we do, hosting, etc. And you will get a grand package of content in return.
Oh man,
so much drama.
I love a grand package. I can't get
There
enough.
was so much drama to that.
A grand package of content.
That's what happens when my
A lot of portent to that content.
that's what happens when my brain fails to generate a grandiose enough word.
Sure.
But
we got
yeah.
huge elaborate stuff.
yeah,
Things.
magnificent
Bespectacled.
stuff. Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
patreon.com/bmfcast. Throw $1 in the jar every month and you'll get a bunch of content. It's cool.
Yep.
You'll like it. I promise. And you can quit at any time. I promise. It's easy, man.
But don't quit.
But don't quit. I mean, but you can.
Don't be a quitter.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, let's get out of here, shall we? I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. Bye.
Good night.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Right.
That's Toodaloo.
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 Oh my God, it's Toodaloo. It's not me. It's Toodaloo.
What the fuck are you on about?
I don't know. I never know. I don't know.
You know.
When you know, you know. And I don't know.
Woo.
Crack the neck.
Are we still online or not?
We are, but not for long.
Oh.
Unless you want us to be.
No, I got a question to ask.
Okay.
Offline.
Going offline.
Sorry.
Hell yeah.
now. Spoilers.
It involves getting political.
Uh-oh.
We're taking it off. Nope.
Yep. Aw, political. I gotta get.